Hello everyone. Oh my word. Like it's been so long. It's been 6 months I think. But anyway, my name is Ntabi Sings with Etsy and I make weekly videos about true crime stories that have been heavy on my chest and on my mind, and I like to share them with you guys. Usually in the beginning I said in the first two videos that I made, I said that I would be doing my makeup on camera. Perhaps I'll get back into the habit of being on camera again, like doing my makeup on camera again. But the past 6 months have been hectic, and a lot of a lot of things happened. COVID happened. Yeah, no, I don't want to get into the details of that. But the most important thing is that I am back. I am back, and I'm happy to be doing the things that I love again, because it's honestly like it feels like death when you're doing things that you when you're not doing things that you love. Understand? Besides school, I love school, and on that other note as well, school has been hectic. Um, so yeah, but I'm happy. And oh yes, I did lock my hair. I got my hair locked. Yeah, I got my hair locked, and so yeah, I've been locked like it's been this is like a month now. And yes, these are lock extensions. My real locks come to here somewhere, but then the rest is lock extensions. But I'm happy with it. Don't judge my process, don't judge my lock journey. We all do things differently. But anyway, today we're speaking about somebody that is, yeah, it's gonna be gruesome. So, side note, please note that this is gonna be gruesome. um it might get foul, it's very bloody, so be aware. So we're talking about Katherine Knight. You probably have heard of her if you're into true crime as well, but if you haven't, well, fasten your seatbelts because it's about to be a ride. It's about to be a ride. So Catherine Mary Knight was born on the 24th of October 1955, and she is the first Australian woman to be given a life sentence. Well, what she did was worthy of being given a life sentence. She lived in north of Australia in Aberdeen. Yeah, she was like a sort of little background story about her life. She was born into an unconventional family. It was a very toxic family, um, an abusive environment. So when her mother's name was Barbara, and Barbara was married to a man named Jack and had 4 sons with Jack. And later on, Barbara started cheating on Jack with a man named Ken Knight, which is obviously um, Catherine's father. So Catherine had 4 other children, including including two twins, including twins, and one of the twins was Mary, Catherine Mary Knight. Catherine, she was a twin. So obviously, Catherine grew up in a very toxic environment. Her mother had questionable parenting skills, I guess. I'm not a parent, so I wouldn't know, but I would know as a woman, you do not tell such things to your kids. She would go into detail, and I mean detail, about her bedroom life, her sex life with her husband, and what exactly they did and how they did it and what she didn't like and what. So these kids grew up in a very weird situation, you understand. And later on we found it was later on found out that Catherine was sexually abused, but not by her stepfather, but by somebody else in the family, but they never came out eventually on who exactly it was. So later on in life, Catherine grew up. She's a young woman now. And in 1971, she started working at a local butcher. Now, she loved this job. She loved this job. She was good at it. It was stated in all the reports that I went through that she loved it. She even had her own set of knives. But you can correct me by this. well, I read in a couple of reports and case studies that she had a set of knives above her bed. Understand? Like that's how invested she was in her job. She loved it. Understand? So she skinned the animals. She took out the bad bone marrow and stuff like that. She really loved her job and she was actually really good at it. So yeah. So later on, she started dating. She started dating a guy named David. So she got in a relationship with a man named David Kelt. So I can't pronounce his surname. So we're just gonna name him David K. So David was an alcoholic. Understand? He was heavily into alcohol, and I sort of get why he got into alcohol as heavily as he did. He witnessed his best friend die, and he witnessed a school bus being hit by a train in front of his eyes and killed 6 children. So he had a lot going on here. Like he had a lot happening. So he turned to alcohol, and was yeah. So obviously, in a relationship where there's like a lot of alcohol, abuse is not far from the picture. Understand? So it was a very violent relationship, and they eventually got married. Actually, they got married and they stayed married for like 10 years. And after that, she on the first night of their marriage, sorry, I'm moving too quickly. On the first night of their marriage, girl was angry. And gets angry for what? Like okay, this is not the most craziest thing that she's done, definitely not. But she was angry because David could only make love to her once on their wedding night. When she had heard from her family and her friends that, oh, we did it like 4 to 5 times on our wedding night, 6 to 7 times on our wedding night. So when David fell asleep after just making love to her for one time, she was like, the fudge? How are you gonna sleep on our wedding night? So girls got angry, and her type of anger is not our normal anger. We are like, why? Her anger is like, I will kill you, angry. Understand? So she strangled David in her sleep. In his sleep, she strangled David in his sleep, and David obviously woke up and was able to fight Catherine off of him. Excuse him. But anyway, so David was able to fight Catherine off, and their marriage continued. You understand? Later on, David decided that he wanted to leave because he was tired of her physical abuse. So he escaped one time. She snuck out during the night, and yeah, he left. Guy left, and Catherine was upset, and she went to the mechanic that fixed David's car and wanted to kill the mechanic because she was angry at the mechanic that, okay, why did you fix my husband's car? Like, you wanted him to get away from me. Now, in her head, this made sense. In her head, to us, it's like, girl, what did the mechanic do? The mechanic did what the mechanic must do, like fix a car. You understand? Hey. Anyway, Gail moved on, and this is also a side note. It was said that like after David left, they had a newborn child. So after when he left, she was not okay. She could not handle it. And it was said that she was in town and was swirling the pram around, and everybody was scared that this child is gonna get out of the pram and hurt and like be hurt or whatever. And she also tried to put the baby in a railway station, on a railway track. So yes, she's been in and out. Obviously, when people see you do things like that, they're gonna report you, and you're gonna be in a mental institution. So she did. She was in and out of mental institutions and stuff like that. But anyway, on to the next relationship. She met a guy named John Chillingworth. John Chillingworth, I guess. This relationship was okay. it lasted 3 years, and there wasn't much abuse in the relationship because the girl was cheating. So obviously she was not gonna abuse the guy because she was getting her affection somewhere else. She was getting her love from somewhere else by this guy named John Price. So Mr. John Price. So after having this affair, she eventually left Mr. John chilling with. Oh my word, I just realized that these people have the same names. It's David and John. Okay, let's carry on. So she was with Mr. John Price, and yeah, John Price was known to be that guy. No, he worked by the mines. He was very hardworking. He was never late for work. He always did what he had to do, understand? And he had his group of friends, and obviously they shared the same circle, you know. And it was said in the friendship circle that Catherine was very abusive when she spoke to John. And yeah, it's the abusive relationship started to show in the friendship circles, and everybody started to notice that, okay, no, this woman is very abusive. And she eventually also stabbed John. Her relationship with John Price was also very violent. It was, yeah, it was hectic. It was a hectic. But before I end this relationship with John Price, I quickly want to go back to her relationship with David Saunders. So David Saunders lived by himself. I forgot to mention these few facts. David Saunders lived by himself. He had his own place, but frequently went to Catherine's house. And Catherine was like, why don't you come permanently move in with me? David was like, no, I also still want my own space. I want to go back to my own place sometimes and just chill by myself, you know. So that sort of pissed her off. That pissed Catherine off like a lot, because she thought that, oh, that means you have a second life. You have somebody else that you had, and stuff like that. Like she always made up these scenarios in her head. I think, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know what was wrong with Catherine, to be honest. I don't know. But so to prove a point that she was cranky, and to show David that if you ever decide or think to cheat on me or to cross me, this is what's gonna happen to you. She took a 2-month-old puppy and slit its throat next to him and said, try me. First of all, ma'am, it's a puppy. It's a puppy. Okay, back to John Price. So John Price, yeah, he and Catherine were together. I don't know how many years they were together, but yeah, she was very abusive. She was very controlling, and their friends even started to notice this. So because John did not want to get married, I think it always comes back to this. Catherine wanted to get married, understand, and John did not want to. They were like, no, everything is fine. Why do you want to mess things up, Catherine? Why? This is John now. Why do you want to mess things up, Catherine? Like, why? We have everything going so well for us. Like, our kids love us. The kids love you. His kids loved you. I mean, my kids love you. This is John now. Like, John's kids love Catherine. Catherine's kids loved John. You know, it was a nice little family. But Catherine just had to mess it up. You understand? Catherine just had to mess it up by wanting to get married. And John was like, hold up, wait a minute. That's not my area. I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married. And yeah, we all know what happens when Catherine does not get what she wants. So she got angry. I'm sorry, this is so not funny. I'm so sorry. Catherine got angry, right? And she took a video of a medical kit, like you see those small little medical kits that they place at workstations or whatever. So she took a video of a medical kit, that John had took from his workplace, understand? And apparently John took this medical kit because it was in a dumpster and they threw it away. So he was like, oh, okay, they threw this medical kit away, so I might as well just take it home, because I do medical things. If you guys threw it away, I'm just gonna take it. I know it's wrong, but how are you gonna go snitch on your man like that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So she took a video of this medical kit and sent it to John's boss and like, hey, look at your employee. Look at what he's doing. What he's bringing home. He took a medical kit. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So obviously this got John fired. This woman is she doesn't make the calculation in her head. Like she doesn't make calculations in her head before doing something, because if you get your man fired, that means you're bringing down your own bag, girl. Like you're also not gonna have money as well because he's providing for you as well, gal. Duh. Obviously she had a job, but then like he was adding onto the things that needed to be done every month. Obviously his paycheck had value in their household. So yeah, that's what she did. And John was angry. And John's friends was like, John, your woman is not this is not the type of person you're supposed to be with. This is not no, this is not gonna work. You better leave this woman. You better leave. And so he did, but what pushed John to leave was because Catherine stabbed John in the chest. And it was in early February, I think, early February of 2000. So whenever John and Catherine got into a fight or an altercation, John always made sure that he informed his friends or the people at work that, okay, me and my wife got into this. He was a very smart man, I think, like, because I think he knew that this lady is not okay, but he loved her, so yeah, he left her for 3 months and then came back to her. I don't know, Catherine always had her way. She was very vindictive, so they ended up making up again. And now this time his friends was like, you cannot hang around us because we do not support this relationship, we do not support what you're doing. We helped you get through the last time, like whatever she did to you, so how do you expect us to support you this time? Like, she got you fired, nigga. Wake up. But anyway, John was like, no, I love this woman. So he went back. And he shouldn't have, because this is when Catherine was like, isikhathi sakho emhlabeni siyaphela buti. Okay, that's not funny, but yeah. So she decided that she was gonna kill John, and yeah, so she did. Like, she killed John, and because she worked in a butcher and because she had such mad skills with the knife, she skinned him, like, perfectly. Like, the way it was described, even you could see that this is John, like, this is a face and this is John's face when she was done. So yeah, she put the meat on meat hooks and hung it in a doorway, in a door arc. And she cooked the head. She put the head in a pot and cooked it, and put out 4 plates on the dining room table and make it seem like there's about to be a dinner for the kids. But luckily the kids were not at home, because apparently, like, she sent the kids over to a sleepover 2 days before, so they were not at home. But apparently maybe they were gonna come back and they could have dinner and have daddy for dinner. Okay, yeah, that is what she wanted. But yeah. But the day before, John was smart. She was like, okay, I think John knew that, something bad is gonna happen. When you just feel it in your gut that, no, true is yo, like, something is gonna happen. So John went to his co-workers and said, if I do not clock in tomorrow, if you do not see me clocking in on time tomorrow, something happened to me. Just know that something happened to me. Please be aware. And so obviously the next day, 6 o'clock in the morning, John is not clocking in at work. And his co-workers was like, let's go check on John. So they go there, they knock, John's car is still in the driveway. They knock, nobody's answering. They knock, nobody's answering. And they eventually call the police. The police come and they start peeping in and they just saw blood. So they had to kick down the door. And so one of the police officers say that they walked in, and to get into the dining room hall, there was a curtain hanging, right? And he moved it with his left arm. But then when he moved it, he felt something cold. And when he looked at his arm, he saw blood. Guess what it was? That was John's skin hanging. Like, guys, this lady, hey, yo. So, like, yeah, anyway. And then they continued moving, and then they saw John, what was left of John, just like a body without a head. And even one of the police officers joked around, he's like, guess where the head is? Can't the head is in the stove. He's like, he thought it was a joke, just saying it like it was a joke. So yeah, and they found her on the bed sleeping because she drank a lot of pills. I think she wanted to commit suicide, well, I don't know. And she also withdrew $1,000 from John's bank account, and we don't know why she did that. She went, I think after she killed John, she went out, did some grocery shopping, came back, and withdrew the money. And yeah, I don't know what she was gonna do with $1,000, but $1,000 in 2000 was a lot of money. So yeah, $1,000 right now in South Africa is a lot of money. So anyway, um, so anyway, um, everybody was shocked in Australia because of Catherine. And when they gave her the life sentence, she's still in prison now, obviously. She says that she does not remember anything, and she is that granny. She's that nice granny, the one that you go ask advice from. She knits, but they do not want her in the kitchen. And yeah, she's just living her life in prison now, and she doesn't remember what happened. I don't know how her relationship is with her kids right now. Nothing was ever mentioned about her kids or anything like that, or her family, her family. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to hear more stories about true crime that are gonna keep you shocked, that are gonna shock you the way they shock me, because I'm always shocked. And before I go, I got gifted with books, and this is one of them. It is a novel by Katia Leaf called You Are Next, The Domino Killer. Guys, I am on page 57 and already I am on the edge of my seat. It is like hectic. And anyway, that is just extra information. Anyway, love you. Stay blessed. Stay healthy. Spread as much love as possible. This life is a short ride. Keep the ones you love close and spread as much positivity and light into the world as possible. This is a virtual hug. Bye. I love you.